Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So, we've got another Tamiya car with the G11P, and this time we're going for a tiny little receiver. It's a little 4-channel with a built-in antenna, good for the Tamiya RCs, and not sure if you'll see it, it's right in there. I'll put a picture up around here so you can get an idea of just how small this thing is, but it's quite tiny. And I'm just going to show you how to get it bound up to the G11P. In this Tamiya Frog, we've also got an Wtf Rc Gyro, so I'll show you how to set that up on one of the auxiliary channels. We got it plugged into channel 3, so let's bring in for a close-up look and show you how we get on with this one. So for this one, we've got the receiver mounted in the RC. It's pretty much in there, right down at bottom, and it does fit really well. And then not sure how well you'll be able to see this, but we do have the Wtf Rc Gyro mounted up at the top. So for this, I'm just going to drop in a LiPo pack. So the R4P, like many of the receivers for the G11P and G7P, it does have auto bind mode. So first off, we're going to go on as transmitter. We're going to go to model select. Let's go down to a new model. So we've got it selected. I'll just reset it just to make sure, because I'm forever messing around with these. And we can go on here, and then we just want to give it a name. So once we've named as model, we can back out. We need to get it to bind, so we're going to go to RX set. We're going to go in as failsafe. I've got that set to no output. We're going to go to bind, so we want routine, one way, and then PWM and iBus. I've got mine set to 333 because I know the speed controller and servo work fine with that. And then we've got the start bind. So basically, we can power up the RC. We need to go into bind. Once you're in bind, just back out, and then it'll bind. You won't get the binding confirmation because we're binding in one way. But basically, we've got as control. This has got a gyro in it, so at the minute it's not really interacting with it. So what we need to do now is go into a settings, go into auxiliary, as channel 3. This is the gyro. So if we go into custom, so we'll set that to gyro. Then we need to go to control. So for this, I'm going to want a very granular control. So I'm going to check this and put it on one of the VRs. So if we've got it set to, I believe that's VR1, top one. So we got it set to VR1, so we can now control as gyro. So if we start turning this up, see, I've got more and more control from the gyro. So we can play around with this gyro again, and then finally, we just need to go into his basic setup. So our steering is turning right way, but looks like we've got slight offset on the sub trim. So let's go in and correct that. I want to make sure my wheels are going straight. And then we'll go on to his endpoints. So it's just starting to pull slightly more than I'd like. And same again when we turn in right. So you're just going to want to back them down. You just don't want it overstressing the servo or steering components. And then when we back out of that, we're pretty much done. So we should have throttle. It's a bit vicious, this one. It's got a MIP diff. And I think it's over 4000 kV, that motor. Which is why we got gyro in it, to stand a chance of getting it to go straight. But that's how you set it up. If we turn this off, of course the fan on this one is very loud and a bit annoying. So your main takeaway from it is when you're going to bind with the R4P, you go into bind, you turn on the RC, that'll put it into bind mode. As soon as the receiver has power, it'll go into bind mode. Then you just click bind and then back out of it and it'll bind up. You won't get the confirmation of a two-way bind because it only supports one way. I'll just quickly show you again. So what you need to do to get this to bind, we turn it on, we go into bind mode. Once you've been in bind mode for a few seconds, you back out. You do not get the confirmation from two-way that it is all bound up and it is all fully working. And if you do have a gyro on channel 3, that's how we set as game for his gyro. But let's wrap this one up. So there you have it, the tiny R4P receiver in the Crazy Frog, I'm going to call this one. It's got a 4000 odd kV motor in it, an MIP diff, full ball race kit and a 60 ampere SC. So how to get that set up on the G11P. Your main takeaway from it is it's a one-way bind, so you don't get the confirmation. So if you sat there waiting for it to say binding successful or anything, it won't. You just go into bind with the RC already turned on first, and then it'll automatically go to bind mode. You just go to one-way bind and then just back out and it's bound up. From that point on, make sure your transmitter's on first before you turn the RC on, and it'll always stay bound to it. It won't go into bind mode. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Hopefully you find this useful, entertaining, or a bit of both. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.